The bus stop wasn't supposed to be there. No sign, no bench, no schedule posted anywhere. Just a narrow strip of pavement beside a quiet road, marked by worn footprints and a single crooked streetlight. She only noticed it because the bus stopped there one evening when it never had before. She hesitated before getting off. The driver didn't look back. The doors closed, the bus pulled away, and suddenly she was alone with the sound of insects and distant traffic. Her phone showed no signal. The city skyline was still visible, but it felt farther than it should have been. A man stood a few steps away, hands in his pockets, as if he'd been waiting for something that hadn't arrived yet. He glanced at her and nodded calmly, like her presence made sense here. She asked when the next bus was coming. He said he didn't know. None of them ever checked the time, he added, as if that explained everything. Minutes passed. Or longer. It was hard to tell. The streetlight flickered, not quite failing, not quite steady. She realized the road behind them was empty in both directions, too empty for the time of day. When she asked where the stop led, he smiled faintly and said it took people where they needed to go, just not always where they planned. Another bus approached silently, headlights dimmer than usual. Its number was unfamiliar. The doors opened, and the driver waited without speaking. The man stepped back, giving her space. She felt the weight of a choice she didn't understand. Get on and trust the unknown. Or stay and wait for something that might never arrive. She looked at the city one last time, lights distant and unreal. Then she stepped onto the bus. The doors closed softly. As it pulled away, she glanced back through the window. The bus stop was gone. So was the man. Later, people would say she changed. That she moved through life less hurried, less certain, but more present. She never spoke about the stop. But sometimes, late at night, she checked bus routes online and smiled at the empty spaces between them, knowing that not every path appears on a map, and not every journey begins where you expect it to. The bus ride felt longer than it should have been, but not heavy. The seats were warm, the air calm, and the windows showed scenes that looked familiar yet slightly off, streets she recognized, but quieter, cleaner, as if time had been turned down. No one spoke. A few passengers sat scattered through the bus, all facing forward, all looking peaceful in the same distant way. She wondered where they were going, but didn't ask. Something told her questions weren't meant to be spoken here. At one point, the bus slowed and stopped near a park she used to visit as a child. She hadn't thought about that place in years. The doors opened. No announcement. Just an invitation. Her chest tightened with recognition. She stepped off without fear, feeling certain in a way she rarely did in her ordinary life. The park was empty, bathed in soft evening light. The swings moved gently, though there was no wind. As she walked, memories surfaced, not sharply, not painfully, but with clarity. Moments she'd rushed past. Decisions she'd avoided. People she'd loved quietly and left too early. None of it accused her. It simply existed, asking to be seen. She sat on a bench and breathed deeply. For the first time in a long while, she wasn't thinking about what came next. Only about where she was. When she stood again, the bus was waiting at the edge of the park, doors open, patient. She understood then that this wasn't a one-way trip. The bus would stop as many times as it needed to. So would she. When she finally stepped back onto the bus and later returned to the city she knew, everything looked the same, but felt different. The noise didn't overwhelm her. Delays didn't frustrate her. She noticed small things again, light on windows, people pausing before crossing streets, the way time stretches when you stop pushing it. She never found that bus stop again. Not on any map. Not in any schedule. But sometimes, when life felt too fast, she sensed it nearby, waiting quietly, ready to appear the moment she slowed down enough to notice. And she knew that if it ever did, she wouldn't hesitate.